And welcome back. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the disable or set disabled methods that are part of the Widget class. Now this can be called on any widget that inherits from the widget. So you can use a Witty text, a Witty push button, a Witty label. I'm going to try to use it with a Witty push button. I tried it with a Witty text. It really didn't work out the way I thought it would, but a Witty push button, you can visually see what is going on. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to add a couple of headers. I'm going to add the Witty push button. And we're going to get rid of the label. Okay, make that a Witty text. Just going to call this response. And we're going to add this to the application root. So there's your Witty text. I'm going to give it some text here. I'm going to say disable example. And then I'm going to add a Witty push button. Just going to call it button. And I'm going to give it a text of disable me. And we're going to add it to the application root. Alright. And the only thing you need to do to actually disable a widget, in our case, you can either do button disable, and that disables the widget. And if I bring the documentation over, let's do a search. I'm on the Witty widget class. You have set disabled, is disabled. In our case, let's go to disable, and basically it says disables the widget. And it's also an alias for set disabled equals to equal true or false. So let's go ahead and compile. And let's go to localhost. You can see there's nothing there. Well, actually, let's start the server first. And then if we do a refresh, disable example, and as you can see the button has been grayed out, nothing is showing up. You can click on it, but no events will be triggered. And if we go to the other method, which is what this really calls, it says you can either call this or set disabled. And it says typically a disabled form widget will not allow changing the value, and disabled widgets will not react to mouse click events. That is generally true. I've seen some cases with Witty text where it is not true, but for the most part that works. So if we go ahead and get rid of this, and we go in here and compile, and I close the server. And if we restart the server again, go back to localhost and refresh, and now you can see the button has been enabled. And we're going to make one last change. Button set disabled to true. And this is the same thing as calling disabled. It's just, you can use either one. And if we go in here and compile, and I close the server, start the server again, go back to Opera, do a refresh, and as you can see, the button has been disabled. So that just shows you a couple of ways of how you can actually disable and enable a widget using the Widget library. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.